All right, welcome to another episode of Influence Our Profits. Our guest today is Alex May. I'm really excited to hear about him. He is just a bundle of incredible energy. This guy is an energy healer. He's really about healing the vibration of this world, bringing it up level of conscious. He's got all sorts of modalities that he uses, all sorts of techniques and tricks, and just a very spiritual, in tune person. You're going to want to stay tuned and listen intently. I don't know where this conversation is going to go, but I know that it's going to go up and into an incredible space of healing and high vibration. So, Alex, thank you for coming on. I just love your energy, and I love what it is that you do for people. It's something that I'm very passionate about myself. So, just thank you for being here. Really want to honor
You're welcome. Thank you for having me, honestly.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So share a little bit about, I can kind of give you a broad overview of your intro. Share a little bit more in depth what it is exactly that you do.
So I have been studying since I was 9 years old. So it is pretty extensive. But basically what you would do is you would come into my office my office, the office that I rent from my mentor, and or over the phone, and you would give me a couple of pieces of information about yourself, like your mother, your father, what kind of situations you're dealing with, or physical, mental, spiritual things going on. And then within less than 5 minutes, I can figure out which of the 9 techniques that I do to use on your body, and which will resonate and which ones won't. So it's very comprehensive and very simple at the same time. Most people for their first session usually take about 3 or 4 techniques at a time. And I always make sure that those techniques integrate together so that it doesn't overpower the body, because believe it or not, you can actually have too much healing. Your nervous system is very sensitive, and everybody's body's different. Some people can only actually handle 1 technique. Some people can handle 4 or 5. There are certain people that I've seen that after a couple of sessions, their system gets upgraded and they can do about 5 or 6. So that's pretty impressive. Yeah.
That's super awesome.
That's interesting.
Go ahead. I was going to say, I'm not that special. I'm just a catalyst. So I'm just more interested in like seeing how people upgrade themselves. I was born like this. So it's like, whatever. Go ahead.
That's cool. So how did you said you've been training in this since you're 9. Like, how did that get started? Like, you're 9. That's like, I'm trying to think what grade that is, like 4th or 5th grade type thing. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Like, how did even healing, like, what was this? How do you even like,
did a kid get pushed over and then
did your G.I. Joe, like, was
so,
arm?
So it's a pretty crazy story, and I actually don't tell this story often. I've actually never had this story recorded, so it'll be kind of funny to have it on camera. When I was 9, I was in the elementary school library. It was Albert Harris Elementary School, where I'm from, in Martinsville, Virginia. And there was this red book in the corner of the library, and I pulled it out, and I'm not even joking. It's called Eliphas Levi's How to Summon Spirits from a Mirror, in an elementary school library. And I was like, what is this? And I started going through it, and it was incantations on how to heal the body, incantations on how to summon spirits from a mirror with an enchanted sword, not even kidding. And I knew in my little, like, aware child mind that I could not get this book out of the library. So I put it in my backpack and I took it home with me, and I studied it for a month. And it was really interesting because I just understood. Like, there was something in me that resonated with it, that understood what was being said, what was being done. Different pentacles and sigils and magic symbols just made sense to me. They weren't like weird. And then a month after studying it, I brought it back to the library and put it back because I didn't want my mom to find it. You know, I'm like 9, you know. That was the very first time I kind of knew that it wasn't like a fascination or just like my imagination, that there was something that was really real about that. Before I found the book, I was seeing orbs and visuals and ghosts, entities, all those different types of things. But once I read the book, it all kind of made sense to me. In my head, I was like, wow, this is real. Like, why would this book be in the elementary school library of all places? Like, it's so random. And then the very first time I ever healed someone was when I was, bye, beautiful, was when I think it was 14, 15, and my friend Rebecca Biersbach, who's a doctor also now, she was walking around the Lake Lanier. We were walking around Lake Lanier together, and she fell down the hill, and this stick went through her foot, and it was like bleeding, and it was really dramatic and stuff, and she was like freaking out, and I just yanked the stick out of her foot, and something took over my body, and I put my hands on her foot, and it started to sizzle like it was cooking. And she was like, what is that? And I was like, I don't know. And 15 minutes later, her foot was like, the hole was like completely scabbed up, and she's like, what was that? And I was like, I don't know. That was when those 2 instances, when I was 9 and when I was 14, 15, was when I knew that it wasn't just like, you know, like my imagination. There was like an acknowledgement / validation that this was quite real, you know. Yeah, those were the 2 key times. Yeah.
That was powerful.
And then how do you transform that into later on like a business, and like and like how does that like hop over from like you heal this girl's foot, you're summoning spirits or doing whatever there, and then now later on, when did that start? Like, what age did you start like actually accepting money for healing people?
Oh, that's an interesting story too. So, when I was, oh no, this is where the timelines are going to get a little weird. When I was, how old was I? I was 20, 21, I believe. I moved to, maybe it was later. It was like 22, 23. I don't know. I moved to Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, to help my dad with his candle shop that he was running with these other 2 people. I can't remember their names. And what was it that happened? Oh, I met my very first mentor, Donna Kirsch, who is now transitioned, God rest her soul. And she recognized immediately in me that I could see things, you know? And she said, oh, you need to do tarot card readings for people and do divinations for people. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. Why would I do that? And she said, Alex, people will pay you for it. And I was like, no, they're not going to pay me for that. And she said, yes, they will. Donna, without even knowing me, this is how, like, just the sweetest woman in the world. She printed out, you know how real estate agents have their little signs that you can stick down in the ground? She printed me out the cutest sign with the lover's card and a pentacle, like a coin, and my name. And it was Tarot Readings by Alex May. And she shoved it down into the ground outside of a restaurant. She said, you'll be doing readings here. And I was like, wow. Like she set it all up for me. And I started doing tarot card readings at this magic shop in Hilton Head Island. I can't remember the name. I'm so sorry. And I did that for like 2 years straight, every Friday. But I was still kind of hesitant to do healing work on people. So I started taking certifications in Reiki and started taking certifications in learning different types of yogi meditation, like Kriya Yoga and stuff like that. And then I moved to Toronto in Canada, and then I took a bars class, and I started taking mysticism classes from the Holistic College Institute of Toronto. I don't even know. Do what?
Explain what bars are.
I know what
bars. So, yeah.
Are you going to a training to drink? Like, what does that mean?
Oh, so Access Consciousness, the bars are 32 points on the head that, when gently pressed, release massive amounts of trauma and stress from the body and the being, aka you can call it the spirit or whatever, but it releases. I have found that when I do it on people and when people do it to me, it's not just for that hour, it's for like 72 hours after getting your bars pressed. You're releasing stuff for 3 days straight. I had my bars run. That's the term that they use in Access. And I literally felt like I was alive for the first time in years. Like I felt like I came out of this fog and the lights were bright and I didn't feel depressed. And then I went through a very interesting time that we don't really have to talk about. That lasted for a very long time. I mean, we can talk about it if you want to. A nice little segue. Is that okay?
Yeah, if you want to, let's go.
Yeah, I went through my partying phase for a while where I was doing a lot of drugs and was doing a lot of, psilocybins and acid and stuff like that. And then all it basically showed me was that I didn't need to take any of it. So that's that story. And then
let's back up, because we've actually, I think we had a friend that we interviewed maybe 2-3 weeks ago. His name's Frank, and he actually does psilocybin retreats.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
A whole episode on psychedelics and entrepreneurship. So if you're listening to this and you're interested in that, after you listen to this episode, you can go check out the whole psychedelic and entrepreneurship episode.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it's interesting what you said there was the psychedelics basically told you, it opened you up to see that you didn't actually need them to the way that it helps most people.
Yeah, because my thing is that I encourage people to do whatever they want to do, what will enhance their life. But what happened with me was that I found that I'm already there already. So whatever the LSD and the all of that stuff, I'm already tapped into that energy, sometimes beyond it. And one time, oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking about this. One time I was in the park, I was in Trinity Bellwoods, and the sun was coming over the hill, and we had dropped, 5 hours before that, and the sun exploded in my face, and I had this amazing conversation. I don't know if it was with myself or with God, and God basically said to me, "You don't need anything. You're perfect the way that you are. You don't need to do anything." And I was like, whoa. And I could literally feel the sun penetrating my body. It was pretty incredible. But the other thing that I wanted to talk about, because you guys want to know about my journey and as a business and all of that, what made me stop doing drugs was that I died. And it's actually what influenced me to create my business more. So that's the reason why I'm going to talk about it. I overdosed and I died, and I had a conversation with God, and God basically told me, you're really, am I allowed to curse on here or no?
Absolutely.
Oh, God said okay. God was like, you're really fucking up. And I was, I was like, wow, God curses? And God was like, yes, I do. So God, God was like, you're really like fucking up your life and you need to stop. And I said, well, what do I do? And God said, you need to be sober for a really long time. I don't know when that's going to end, but you need to just not do anything. You need to take healing courses. You need to get more certifications so people can take you more seriously, because they need to see the qualifications to deem you real in this reality. And I was like, that's stupid. And God was like, yeah, I know it's stupid. Anyway, so then we have this entire conversation about humanity and the Bible and like it being gay and how sexuality is a limitation, all these insane things that I always wanted to talk to God about, that I could finally have a conversation. And here's what God told me straight up. There is no such thing as going to hell if you're being gay. God said sexuality is actually a limitation. You actually can have preferences, but sexuality can actually hinder your connection to another person. And that still blows my mind, honestly. And then God also said to me, you are an amazing healer and light worker. So please stop hanging out with people that tell you you're crazy or you're dark, because they're just there to hinder you and your business. God actually said business to me. And I was like, business? And God said, you are going to be an incredible master healer in a couple of years. And I was like, wow. And I said, so how am I going to do that? And God said, figure it out. And then I woke up and I was in my body in a lot of pain. And I was just like, I have to go. And my friends were like, where are you going? And I was like, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. And I went through a very dark time in my life where I joined a cult after that, because I had no one and I didn't know what to do. And I kind of gave up, and was in the cult for probably 3 or 4 months, and then decided that it was time to go after they told me I needed to shave my head.
I'm glad
right?
There's a line, and you put it at shave your head, not like stab kids or something.
Right. They were like, you were in the cult of the living God. And I was like, I don't think so.
Oh God, it's not anything like this. Like, I gotta go.
No, my God is not like that.
You called it a cult? That's
I did. I called it.
Oh, you called it. So
I called it.
So what was your we'll start there and then we'll go back to the God stuff. But this is really interesting. Because I love the idea of cults. I don't like actual like cults, but I like the idea of them. And I want to get like where your red flag was that you were in a cult. Like, because when you started off, you're like, oh, this is just cool people and they're doing whatever and blah, blah. But
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. The red flag was I started dating one of the guys in the cult, and as soon as he and I started living together, the leader of the cult saw, and he all of a sudden one day was sleeping on my boyfriend's floor. And I was like, why is he here? And he goes, I don't know. And then 2 or 3 days after that, he was telling my boyfriend at the time that I forced him to kiss me, that I forced him to be with me, that he wasn't really into guys like when we're living together in the same bed. Do you know what I'm saying? And that was the red flag. It was like, oh, you're like psycho. Like there's something about this guy. And I already in my head, because I'm very fast, started to plan my escape already at that point. I was like, oh, this isn't good, you know? And I think the biggest red flag was when the leader of the cult made us meet, all 3 of us met together, and he said, you know, Alex, I've been having a conversation with, I'm not going to say his name, and we've decided that being gay is destructive. And then he said, but you know, I want to be with men, but I don't, because whenever you have sex with a man, it just creates destruction around you. And I was like, what is this guy talking about? And it's just basic manipulation. Like, most cult leaders, you just trust them so much, and you trust that everything that they say is in your best interest, but it's just manipulation. And he was just trying to manipulate us. So I was ready to go after that. I was like, no, something was like not good, you know.
So I know that's so interesting. So I know that you know, while you were dead, and I'm gonna pivot back to God because I like talking about God more than cults. I know, but that's okay. Yeah. So I know that you got this download while you were down. I know we had talked about earlier of like a methodology that could really bring transformation and healing in people's lives, right? And that was something when we had talked about that earlier, that was really like, wow, that really wowed me. A few things have wowed me about you. So can you talk a little bit about what that process was? And you know, it's something that you now do to this day. It's one of your modalities. Is that right? Can I talk about?
Oh, the technique that I downloaded from God.
Yes.
Yeah, I would love to talk about that. You're talking about DVM. Yeah, of course. So, DVM was channeled. So I love how you just segued into the next story with that. That's awesome. So when I was done with the cray cray stuff in Toronto, I moved back home to Virginia. And at the time, my mother and I were living together, and I was sleeping on her couch and working at Food Lion. I got a job at Food Lion, and then started working at Rack Room Shoes. Sorry, I have to talk about it to remember. Oh, I remember. My dad got cancer, and we decided to move him into the apartment where mom and I were staying, and it got super crowded. And you know, when somebody's dying, it gets really stressful, and I just couldn't handle it. Like, I'm really sensitive when it comes to my living quarters and stuff like that. And so I got out of there and stayed with my mom's friend in the other apartment. And it just kept getting more and more stressful. And then I left. And these two angels named Sandra and Doug, Sandra Chrisman and Doug Chrisman, Sandra, who just passed away, God bless her, they literally invited me to live on their farm for free. No, did not ask me for anything, gave me a car to drive around, gave me clothes, I mean, it was incredible, because I lost it. You know, my dad was about to, you know, kick the bucket, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing here in Virginia? You know? So one day I'm sitting outside on this really pretty grassy knoll, you know, big grassy hump in the ground. And I hadn't done any healing exchanges for like 3 or 4 years. It was, you know, and I was so used to it, because in Toronto, if I ever got stressed out, I could go see a healer, or I could do a trade, you know? So I held my hands up to the sky, and I just said, whatever pain I'm going through right now, whatever suffering I'm going through right now, just take it away from me. Like, I just can't hold on to this anymore. And all of a sudden, I started feeling this rumbling sensation come through the ground, like that. And I felt all of the pain, all of the suffering, all of the stress that I was holding in my forehead, in my throat, in my jaw. It just left. And I saw, it was like veins, like capillaries in the earth, like pulsating, sucking it out of me. And I was like, what is that? And then I heard God again, finally. God goes, well, hello there, Alex. I was like, hi. And God says, so I am connecting you to the ley lines of the earth right now. And I was like, what are they? And God goes, they're called dragon veins. And I was like, dragon veins? And so God said, you need to find a pen and a piece of paper to write all of this information down. So I like ran inside, and that was when I wrote down the beginning of DVM, which is the dragon vein meditation. And so I've been perfecting it over the last couple of years until finally 2 months ago, I debuted it at Oriya for the meditation class. And so basically what it is I take you through each chakra, and each chakra has a certain sound hertz frequency connected to that chakra, a certain feeling, a certain emotion, a certain color. And then we clear trauma while connecting you to the ley lines underneath the earth. Because while you're getting healed, if you get things cleared out from the vessel, you need to refill the vessel. So the powerful thing about DVM is that even if you feel tired after it, you feel re-energized. And it's been pretty incredible. Like, I'm really proud of that technique. I didn't create it, I just channeled it, but I really am really happy about how it's helped so many people, because people come to my meditation classes and they think that they're just going to get meditation, and then they get all this trauma healed from them that they've had since they were a baby. So I'm kind of sneaky.
So Alex, that's something actually that we do with a lot of the people that come on the podcast, is we're like, what could you show us? Like, what technique, what, even like in the next, maybe like in a 5-10 minute period, could you give for the people that are listening?
Duh, of course, I would love to. Duh. I love saying that.
Perfect.
So can I do it to you guys right now?
Absolutely. Freaking
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and close your eyes. See that you are sinking down into the earth. Down, 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 down. You will see roots, trees, soil, minerals. Keep going. Keep going. Sinking deeper, 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 until you see the magma flow. Go ahead and swim through the magma flow, burning through all fear, judgments, any attachments, any worries, any stress. Let it be burned from your ethereal form. Keep going. Keep going until you see the core of the earth in front of you. The color of the core will look different for both of you. When I count down from 3 to 1, you are going to call out the color that you see in front of you. 3, 2, 1.
Great.
Orange.
Go ahead and connect yourself to that color. Creator, it is commanded to connect these two heavenly bodies to the ley lines underneath the earth, establishing connection with both of these heavenly bodies to the ley lines underneath the earth. Feel the energy coursing through your veins, reverberating, sinking. Focus on your breath. Focus on your intention. Focus on what it is that you want from this session together and individually. See that the color red is pooling, circulating, pooling around your root chakra, above the pelvic bone. Circulating, pooling, circulating, pooling, circulating, establishing connection with these two heavenly bodies to DVM red in the ley lines underneath the earth. Establishing connection with these two heavenly bodies with DVM, connection established. Take a deep breath within. And as you exhale, see the color red spilling forth from your root chakra down into the earth, down, 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 into the ley lines underneath the earth. The color red is associated with passion. The color red is also associated with blood. It is which courses through your veins. When you think of the color red, what is the first thought that comes into your mind? When you think of the color red, what is the first thought that comes into your mind? Focus on your breath. Focus on your breath. The root chakra, Muladhara, is associated with grounding, with your place of home. If at any moment in your life you felt like you were unwelcome, not only in your own home, but in your own body, due to a person or a place or an institution, it is now time to let that go. Take a deep breath within. And as you exhale, let all of those judgments go, all of those worries, with the color red spilling forth from your root chakra, down into the earth, down, 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 into the ley lines underneath the earth. Focus on your breath. Focus on your intention. What is the earth to you? Is it the rivers? Is it the sun? Is it the ocean? Is it the soil, the grass underneath your feet? What is the earth to you? Feel the energy of the earth's veins coursing through your entire being, healing and restoring all of your body on a molecular cellular level into all of your organs, red blood cells, white blood cells, into your brain, into your spine, muscle tissues, fatty tissues, renewing your entire being. See that you are coming back up from the core of the earth, rising slowly, up, up, up. You will see roots, trees, beings burrowing into the earth, crystals, until you see your human body in front of you. Slowly come back into your body, back into your body. I am coming back into my body. You are coming back into your body. I am coming back into my body. You are coming back into your body. I am coming back into my body. Take a deep breath within. And as you exhale, slowly open your eyes.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
So that's just like one part.
You got all the chakras to know that. That's incredible.
Yeah.
This is something that you do full time.
Yeah.
Now, which I think is amazing in itself. Where I'm obviously grounded now when I get back into my body and into this interview. I think it's really huge because especially like a lot of light workers and a lot of healers, they feel like charging money for their gifts. Obviously, that's a huge gift that you have. You know, they have struggles with, you know, charging money and making this into a business. So I think what you do is incredible. I want to really just guide people where they can go to get more access to you, and to continue on that meditation if they would choose to. Where can they reach out?
Sure. So you can find me at my website. It's www.alexandermei.com. I'm also at Alex May Today on Instagram. So that's Alex and then MEI and then Today. I teach meditation classes every Wednesday. I teach DVM every Wednesday at Oriya Movement. So that's oriyamovement.com. And I teach every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. And yeah, that's how you can find me. If they really want to come in and experience it, it's pretty incredible. We have moving, sacred, geometrical visuals that you get to look at before you go into the meditation. It's pretty incredible.
That is incredible.
It is awesome.
That's super cool. Have you thought about like recording that and like selling it and like courses and that type of stuff?
Yes, I was talking to the owner of Oriya, Nicole Drakulic, who's incredible, and my other friend Anna Naturalista, and I want to start doing live like Zooms like we're doing now, but with like a virtual ticket type of deal where people can see it live over the internet. And then I also want to do it at retreats and, you know, speaking events. I'm also going to be doing a TED Talk in a couple of months too. I've already set my mind on it. So, you know, I have a lot of things in the pipeline right now, but I do want to take it to a bigger space for sure. I want it to reach more people because a lot of people don't know about it, you know.
Now it's something that you've been channeled and specifically chosen to get that message out.
Yeah.
Really powerful. So I'm like blown away. So I guess is there any last words? A lot of the people that listen they're out playing a big game in life. They want to make a big impact with people. A lot of them are healers, they're light workers, they're coaches,
Mm-hmm.
they really want to make a difference in people's lives. And it sounds like you've gone through, we didn't even ask our typical questions. I'm thinking, I don't even know if we necessarily need to be honest.
I think I asked him if he's going to record it, and you kind of gave me the answer to my normal question of like, what's your vision? Where is this business going?
Right. Yeah, right.
Retreats, being able to do a e-ticket on there. And if you need any help, man, that's what we do, is help people put courses.
Yeah.
Help them promote and do those type of things. So let us know.
Yeah.
And then Holly's question that she normally asks.
Yeah, so I normally ask, because I know, especially being online, and a lot of our listeners are online marketers, like digital entrepreneurs. They always show the good and the yay, look at me, and everything is great and hunky dory. And I think it's just a really powerful question of like, what was your biggest? I put failure because I don't really believe in the word failure, but your lowest, your biggest failure.
Oh.
In that, and then how were you able to overcome that in your business?
Oh, so my biggest failure with that, or my lesson that I learned, I'm okay with saying failure. My biggest lesson / failure was not believing in myself and listening to what everyone else has to tell me instead of following my own compass. I met the wonderful lady that I am really good friends with, who I also rent office space from, Jean Ann Allen. She's been a healer for more than 20 years in LA. And Jean has taught me a lot about what it means to believe and what it means to follow your own heart, and taught me how to take on my own personal power and my own potency and harness it. And she'll even tell you too, like if I say it, she'll be like, no, he did it all by himself. And it's like, well, I did, but it's because I surrounded myself with people who are on the same level as me, if not higher, energetically, financially, spiritually. So if you really want to like up your business game as a healer, as a coach, you need to stop hanging out with certain people and get some new friends. That's the answer, because there's a lot of people that will say, you know, anyone who says you're crazy or you're weird or, you know, whatever, those people need to go. They need to go. You need to just get rid of them. There's billions of people out there, and your soul family is just waiting for you. They're there. I mean, I live in LA. There's tons of people here. What really shifted it for me this year, actually, when my business really started to ramp up, was I had this moment where I realized that no one else is going to do it for me but me. And I might be surrounded by people that support me and influence me, but if I don't get off my ass, it's not going to happen. If you're not passing out business cards to like Lyft drivers, to Uber drivers, to people on the street, you don't really believe in your job. You don't really believe that you're going to succeed. You have to put it out there. And also you have to have fun doing it. I'm not like passing out business cards to people being like, oh, I hope you buy a session from me. Ugh. Like I'm telling them everything, like my story, where I come from, how I succeeded, how I, how I had a great day seeing clients at the office. Like just be yourself. You don't have to do anything else other than be yourself. But believing in yourself is what will shift it for you. And believing in your personal power, in your potency, and who you are, and not giving a fuck what people think about you will change your entire financial reality. I'm not even kidding.
I just want to like high five, like big audience. I wish I had like a button. That's powerful. I am absolutely blown away. I can't even describe to you what I feel right now just from that one little session. So I can only imagine like just the power of what you do. So thank you so much for coming on our show. Thank you for being so powerful.
Hey, you're welcome.
And we're going to go ahead and leave those links below in the comment section for our listeners. Go check out Alex, get a hold of him. I'm sure he'll arrange some sort of Zoom session. If you're not in the LA area, to speak with you and do his healing magic with you. Alex, thank you.
Totally.
And for our listeners, thank you again for listening to another episode of Influencer Profits, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.